Hi guys, Air Hunter here, and today I want to talk about my new setup, my new scope, which is the ATN 3-14 4K Pro, and I've sold my PARD, and I'm going to explain why. To start with, let's talk about the PARD and why basically I got rid of it. And the PARD, well, I love the PARD. I don't want to sound bad about the PARD because I did really enjoy the PARD. But it felt like once I had my scope on and then I had to mount the PARD, it was literally like back here by the time I was done. I mean, this is a carbine HW100, so it's a short rifle anyway. But it felt like by the time it was done, it was somewhere back here. So every time you wanted to aim down scope, you would literally be, my chin would be like right here, and I'd be trying to force my head over a little bit. And it was faffy in that sense. And basically, that it wasn't the most comfortable position, and I did find that the PARD would fog up quite a bit in cold weather. It was very easy to fog the front of the lens up, and you'd have to wait for that to adjust to the weather. It fogged up very easy across in winter times, and the reticle basically, once you mount the PARD to the scope, you would look through, and the reticle would appear sometimes dead straight and even, but when you look back at the recording, it would be slightly off centre, and no matter how much I faffed with it, it was always a little bit off centre, and you'd end up with that round, like dark circle, as if you were looking through a scope. But whereas the ATN, you've got a full square image for when you're uploading videos, and you see the field of view is greater. So that's another reason why I got rid of the PARD. Also, the battery, it didn't last very long. You could have maybe, especially in night mode, maybe 2 or 3 hours with it. But in the day was good. It would last a lot longer in day. But it just felt like it was something extra to look after, something extra to take care of. And you would have to charge that up, put your batteries in, then reattach it to your scope. Then you'd have to line your reticle, the digital reticle from the PARD, up with the scope, and that would shift from day to night. So if you was in day mode, and I said night mode, and you was out early shooting, you would get yourself all set up, move your digital reticle to the scope what you had on, and then when you transferred, once it got light and you transferred to day mode, it would basically change over, and the reticle would move considerably, and so then you would have to readjust that. And it was faffy in that sense. Now I suppose it's subjective really, and also down to cost, what you can afford. Because I bought the PARD and then I researched again, and I figured you've got to have deep pockets in this game, or certainly prepared to spend a few quid, because you think you've got yourself all set up, and you research and you get the scope you want, the PARD, you can do your recording, and then you start doing a bit more research and figure out, ooh, I fancy that. And so when this came, I had to hide it from the missus because I didn't want her to see that I'd spent another thing on air rifling and hunting, basically. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about the PARD. It was just niggly little things that I found was a bit of a nightmare when you're getting out into the open, and you get yourself set up, and it was a lot of faff adding and messing about, and like I say, it was very long on the scope, on the stock, so it was very short that way. But I will say that the PARD has better clarity through a scope at longer ranges in the day. It is a clearer view because you're looking through the glass scope effectively, and not just the digital PARD. Whereas this isn't, but I'll come to that in a minute. But I did like the PARD, but again, it was cheaper at the time, and then when I've done some more research, I ended up going for this. And so now I've got the ATN, which I love because it's all one. You can charge the scope itself, and basically you get an 18-hour battery life, but it just never seems to go down. It never seems to you can look at the battery on the screen, and it never seems to reduce. I can go all day and it's just there all the time, and you don't fear for the battery going down. Also, when you change day to night, the reticle doesn't move, it's in the right position. and obviously you can record on this. And I literally just take the SD card out, plug it into my phone, and just transfer everything over that way from now on. And it comes with these mounts, and it just goes on the Picatinny rail that you get supplied with your HW100. And if you don't, you just put a Picatinny rail on top, and then this mounts straight to it. And it's just all one piece. And obviously now when I pick it up, I've got all this stock, all this cheek rest on the stock to get myself comfortable where I want to be, forward, backwards. And the focus wheel is easier. It's just a quick turn, bang, and sorry, not focus, zoom wheel. And yep, you just twiddle that and you're just zooming in. So when I got it, and I loved it immediately. And then at longer ranges, it's really, really grainy. And I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And it's really grainy basically. And I was like, I'm trying to focus here and try to remess with this, and I'm thinking, oh, what the hell have I done? I bought something that's not as good as the PARD. And then I did a little bit of research and realised that if you get basically a lens cap like this, and this one is a Butler Creek lens cap, you can get this on Amazon for 20 UK pounds. And basically what you do is you get the cap as it is, and then you drill a hole in the middle. And I used a 10mm bit for this, and I'll explain why now. This isn't, I'm not a technical genius, so I've had to get this from the internet, rip it off the internet, and I'll read it to you now. So for those that have got an ATN and you've bought it and you're thinking, God, why is it so terrible at long distance? This is why, and I'm going to read it to you now. So what's happening here is that the objective lens used on the X sight is designed to let as much light in as possible to get to the sensor, so that when it's night vision mode, there's enough light to produce a decent picture. In technical terms, the lens has a large aperture. The downside of the large aperture lens is that they do not have much depth of field, i.e. they're only able to focus over short distance, which is why the longer range stuff in the video is out of focus and the closer stuff is in focus. Putting a cap over the lens reduces the effective aperture, which greatly increases depth of field, thus allowing near and far stuff to be in focus at the same time. The trick only really works in the daytime when there is plenty of light. Even after most of it is blocked out by the lens cap, it will not work at night when the sensor needs every bit of light it can to produce a decent image. So this is why basically we got the lens cap, and the difference is vast basically. Once you get this on in the daytime and you're looking over longer ranges, I don't suppose it matters too much on air rifles because it's good out to about 40-50 yards, and then when you start zooming in you do lose some clarity. It's not as sharp, the image, and it does go a bit grainy. But with this cap on, and I used a 10mm bit, UK 10mm bit to drill this hole, and I'll put some footage in of it up and down until you can see the difference at distance. But certainly if you're using an ATN for a rim fire or a centre fire, this is definitely going to make your life better. Because like I say, once you see it up and down the difference, the clarity is quite great, to be fair. So yeah, definitely get one of these. I'll put the link in the description. They're £20 UK. It's Amazon, so you can get them everywhere. And then just drill your hole in the middle, and then that just literally, it just sits on. Let's see, it goes directly over your scope. Mine's the 3-14, so I'll give you the right link on Amazon for this particular one that fits the 3-14 scope, and that'll make a massive difference to the clarity over longer ranges, especially again if you're using rimfire or centre fire. But it's nice to have. And what also I didn't, probably me, like I say, I'm not a technical genius, I'm not a technical brainiac, but when you fit the IR light onto the side, I was doing some rabbits a few nights ago, and I was looking at the image and I was thinking, this is quite a poor image. This is nothing like it were on the PARD. And obviously the PARD has an internal IR, which is more convenient. But when you put the external IR on, which is what you get with the ATN, you put your batteries in your focus, and it felt like it was like whiting out at night time, like over a field. It seemed very blurry and not very defined at all, and I didn't realise, probably because I'm a little bit thick, but I didn't realise that the IR torch that is supplied, you can focus the end of the torch. So you get the 1, 2, 3 in terms of power outlet on the torch, but there is a focus like it is on the scope almost, and I didn't realise you can focus the IR torch as well. So at first I was a bit like, wow, this is poor, but no, just have a play around. It might take a little bit of setting up, but have a play around, get your torch on, decide what power output you want, 1, 2 and 3, and then focus the end of the torch to get yourself the best possible night picture. And that's why I've changed over to the ATN, basically, the whole convenience of just having it there. It's a daytime scope straight away, nighttime, no adding on. With a flick of a button, you can go from day mode to night mode. And it's definitely more convenient for me. It is weightier though, I will say that. Like a scope and a PARD is lighter than this unit in its entirety. So basically you will have to suffer a little bit of weight, but most of my shooting's done off sticks or off a bipod. I'm not a good enough shot to stand freely and shoot, and I wouldn't take that shot anyway. Not got the confidence for that. But like I say, it will add weight, so that will be a sacrifice you'll have to make in terms of swapping it out if you decide to come away from a PARD and a normal scope. So yeah, that's my new setup, and I'm enjoying it. And like I say, it's nice that you can change the reticle colours. I like that, and you can change the design of the reticles. That's good too, because sometimes you feel like the crosshair gets in the way a little bit, and you can take the top one out on some of these reticles. So yeah, I like it, but again, I've had to hide it from the missus because she's going mad for all my spending. And like it's a fresh hobby for me, so I'm literally learning as I'm going along. And like I say, you think you're getting the one thing, and you're all set up, and then you see something else, and you're like, ooh, I should have bought that. If I sell the PARD and add a little bit of money to that, I can get the ATN. But I paid like £700 for these in a sale, but I think it's even less now. I think you can get them from about 400 quid brand new now, or £400 if you're American. So I'm gonna have some fun with this, and hopefully I can bring you guys some really nice footage with the ATN. So yeah, like I say, I'm gonna put some. I'll put some footage in of the cap up and down, so you can see the difference in clarity over longer distances. And there should be some. Well, there will be some new videos coming soon of me hunting and learning and getting better with everything. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on my new setup. So there we are. Have a great week, guys. See you later. So this is at 35 meters with the lens cap open, lens cap closed, lens cap open, lens cap closed. So as you can see, it don't make too much difference at short ranges, and we've got 5 times zoom, normally down to 3. Let's move it over. So them bushes are around about 90 meters away. This is lens cap closed. I'll just focus. Lens cap open. Lens cap closed. Lens cap open. And then if we move it out, you see the houses in the background. They're around 500 meters. 5 times zoom. You see the brickwork. It's hard to make out the mortar lines. So this is lens cap open. Lens cap closed. Lens cap open. Lens cap closed. Now if we open it, it's a 3 to 14 scope, so if we, this is 14 times zoom, lens cap is open and lens cap closed. Lens cap open, lens cap closed. So as you can see, the further out you go, the more blurry it gets with no lens cap. That's open, closed. Now if we bring it back to times rather, the minimum it will go. That's no cap. Cap closed. Open. Closed. Open. And closed. Hope this helps.